What up, guys? We are live. We got the Monday podcast back. I guess it's on a Tuesday. So the Tuesday podcast, we got Lloyd from TheSingleGuy and we got Hunter from Wingman Plus, two dudes who I respect. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to, we're going to have a good time. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. I guess we can start off with this. I just announced this last night, but I just got demonetized again. So they demonetized me initially. Then I got my monetization back when I reapplied, and then they just demonetized me 2 months later for the same reason. Hunter, can't hear you.
Was it for the same video? What was it for?
It wasn't for videos. They say like it had nothing to do with specific videos. The overall theme of the channel, which again they argue it's for sexual gratification, which is just so silly.
So you've been demonetized before and then got it back?
Man. Yes, that's what makes it really weird.
That is really weird.
Yeah, I feel like they're fucking with me.
Who is doing that? Is it either someone at YouTube or?
No, I mean I think it's just different people, different departments. I don't actually think like anyone on YouTube has a grudge for me. Just weird. But hopefully I'll win the appeal again. So
yeah, I hope you do, man.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, I guess why don't we kick things off like this? Why don't you guys like kind of mention what new projects you're working on right now, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Cool. You want to go first, Hunter? If you don't got anything, I got something.
Go for it, bro. I just woke up. I'm still crushing my morning coffee. Give my brain a second to warm up here.
Yeah, I feel you, man. All right, cool. So, dude, what I'm working with right now is like, when you first talked to me, you were talking about how like, Lloyd does cold approach. I used to do a lot of cold approach. So I guess the way my stuff has evolved is kind of like gone from like, just straight cold approach, going out and meeting random women, to now is like building social circles. And then it's just a basic kind of more lifestyle management. So like, if you think of your dating life as an extension of your lifestyle, it's just changes to your lifestyle that yield big results. That's what I'm mostly focused on right now, which I think is very, very like, if you're like a guy who's working 50 hours, 60 hours, 70 hours a week sometimes, you have to be very, very cutthroat with how you manage your schedule. And you don't have time to go out for 7 hours to like a populated area and like just cold approach for a while. And a lot of those approaches you do, won't turn out well. So what is the best thing for a guy to work with? In my opinion, it's learning how to like schedule like fun social activities into his week, building up his circle so that at one point in time, he will be able to just kind of like do his average week. He'll naturally be meeting the kinds of people he wants to meet. He'll naturally be getting dates. And then on top of that, I'll be living a great life and I'll be more productive too. So I've kind of taken dating and meshed it with like your lifestyle and productivity. You try and make the best thing. And so what I'm working now is basically like, what does that week look like? And I give people an example of that week if they come to visit Austin. I'm working on that right now. So if they come to visit Austin, we'll do that week, and they'll be able to see the power of it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with you. Like if you're living a really busy life, you don't have time for 7 hours of cold approach. That's why I recommend people do cold approaches as they go about their day. So when you're running your errands, you're doing whatever, unless you live in a very isolated life, you're going to encounter girls along the way at the grocery store, whatever. And if you can just approach girls that you see that are attractive along the way, you'll be doing some cold approach and you'll get some results. It's also more authentic that way. I think don't get me wrong. You can go out and do like these 3-hour cold approach sessions and get really good results if your game is good. But I think in average, doing it as you go about your day is a little bit more natural. For me, I've been working a lot on my app Firetext. I mean, it's fully developed and we just released a big new feature. But that's kind of where I see AI is where I see the future. Not like when I say AI, I don't mean just like ChatGPT. I don't think you're ever going to be able to get great dating advice from ChatGPT, just simply because the people that was trained by are not getting great dating results. So really with AI, it matters who was trained by and how effectively did that person train it. And if it's being trained by a bunch of like nerds in Silicon Valley who are like not getting results themselves, then the final product will reflect that, which is why like ChatGPT is really, really good for certain things. It really is amazing for certain things. But I don't think it's that good for dating. So that's where like my app Firetext and so that's what I've been focused on a lot.
And the other thing with ChatGPT as well too is that like basically what happens with my clients and when I've used it in the past, like a lot of times I'll have guys who are like use it to analyze a text message. They'll put in the entire text thread to ChatGPT, and whatever thoughts they have, ChatGPT will just start fucking agreeing with them. You know,
it tells you what you want
to hear. It'll stop telling them what to do. It's trained to tell them what they want to hear. Why does ChatGPT do this? Well, ChatGPT wants you to keep using it. And if you agree with somebody, they're probably going to keep coming back. But if they tell you, hey, what you're doing is wrong, and this is going to make it worse for you, then you're not going to come back. So, ChatGPT is, it can sometimes give good advice, but I find that for everybody, it eventually gets bad.
It tells you what you want to hear. Yeah, exactly. I remember that I decided to search like what are the best AI Riz apps and put Firetext as like number 2 or something like that. I was like, so I texted my girlfriend. I was like, yo, babe, go on ChatGPT and search for this. And she's like, what am I looking for? I'm like, Firetext or number 2. She's like, you're not on the top 5 of my list. And that's kind of when I realized it was using my search history because it knows that I'm the owner of Firetext to like tell me what I want to hear, that my shit is the best. So they definitely do that, and that's a real issue when it comes to getting dating feedback. For sure. I do think that AI. Well, let me kind of redirect to this. Did you guys see the Ab and Preach video about ChatGPT 5 and how people are basically like sad over the loss of GPT-4?
No, I didn't even
notice
the
difference
between the two.
To someone like me who uses it for marketing and things like that, I don't notice any kind of a difference. But I guess there's a lot of people who are like full on having like friendships or relationships with GPT-4, and they find that the GPT-5 is like more cold and clinical and more distant, which actually I think is a good thing. You want the AI to be like that. But a lot of people are talking about how like their friend died basically, and how this was like their therapist and all kinds of weird shit like that. And they're just not vibing with the way 5.0 communicates. So some people are like, rest in peace, ChatGPT. But yeah, like I think if you form a friendship with AI,
social media,
you're going off the wrong. What?
Is this coming up on social media? Like, are you receiving this information from social media or like
just from an Ab and Preach video?
Like,
Ab and Preach did a video on this, and they showed the comments, so you could see the original comments of people talking about this.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
So ChatGPT is the biggest yes man, though.
Friends, man. Hire one of us.
Like, it will just tell you whatever you want to hear.
Yeah, 100%.
So it sounds like a good thing. Like sometimes I'll walk in the house and my girl's like flirting with ChatGPT.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
ChatGPT is like the ultimate Riz app. Like put that shit in voice mode.
Nah, you're fucking with me.
No, like she puts a ChatGPT and like asks it for like life advice and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, you know, at the end of the day, you know what's best for you, baby girl. Like I hear him like rizzing my girl.
Are you sending? Is your girl sending nudes to ChatGPT?
She might be, bro. Like I don't know at this point. Like every time
what would you do with these big titties? I would process the image file very thoroughly, and then I would jerk off.
Somebody wrote ChatGPT. That's hilarious.
I don't know if you guys heard about this, but like people have been obviously making apps like AI girlfriend, AI boyfriend apps. I heard on a podcast that originally everyone thought guys would be the big consumer of these apps, but it actually turns out women are the ones buying the AI boyfriend apps more than guys are buying it for companionship.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. Well, a lot of women, there was a joke in 30 Rock where it was just like a recording of a guy basically saying, tell me about your day. Go on. Tell me more. And that was just the whole tape, and like women were going nuts over it. So I assume that's probably what ChatGPT is doing too.
Yeah, I think like AI is great for improving your life, and like I use it a lot for sales, marketing stuff, research stuff. I think it's great for that. But if you consider AI your friend, then you're cooked. Like that should not be a thing. The problem is a lot of people don't have like real life friends. Like for me, it's like not even up for consideration because I have a lot of real friends. I sometimes forget to respond to my real life friends, so it's like I don't need another fucking thing that that's not even a thing that I can talk to. But it's sad, but a lot of people nowadays just don't have any friends, and so that to them, ChatGPT is like their one friend, which is like really sad. You really need to have real life friends in order to be happy and healthy.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is the stuff that we're trying to fight. At least I am. A big part of my program is making sure that guys get friends in addition to getting a girlfriend. And, if you are able to make friends and you're able to get people to kind of follow you, go to events that you're doing, live a good life and bring people part of it, that's what women are going to want to be a part of. Women don't want to be with a guy who has zero friends. That guy is just probably
true. But I would say that. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say when I was in like high school, I had a lot of friends. I was always good at making friends my whole life, but I was horrible with women because I just wasn't able to sexualize. I wasn't. So I think that okay. Here's what I think. I think that if you want to be good with women, you need friends. But just because you have friends doesn't mean you're going to be good with women.
Correct. Yeah, I think I agree with you. And the other thing too, dude, is that there's always that guy in the group that nobody really respects, but he kind of tags along. You get a lot of that in high school because you're forming relationships with people and you don't know where on the totem pole you are. I was that guy for in a lot of my friendships. I didn't realize I was not being respected by my fellow peers, but they did not respect me. You know what I mean? So it wasn't until I started building up kind of leadership skills, social skills, and providing value that I really started to see the tables turn a bit. And so, if you engineer the right environment for yourself, women are more observant than men are typically, what I find in like social settings. So they can see who like the guys are paying attention to. They can see when he like, let's say you sit down in a group, who turns and looks at you and wants to talk to you? Or do they get up and leave, right? Or when you call somebody over, do they come right over or do they ignore you, right? So, or when you speak up, or do people actually pay attention to what you're saying, or do they have their own side conversations as soon as you talk? Like all of those things, those little things, like women pay attention to. And the guy who's, at the top of the totem pole, they will pay more attention to and typically gravitate towards. And so I think creating the right kind of friendships can help you. But absolutely, there are plenty of guys out there who have tons of friends and they're not in a good standing with them, or maybe they don't know how to sexualize, like you said, and so they suffer for it.
Yeah, they might even have like a good relationships with their friends. They're just not good around women. Here's when a guy says like, "Oh, I run out of things to say a lot when I'm talking to a girl." The question I always ask is, "Do you run out of things to say when you're talking to your male friends?" Answer is almost always no, I don't. But I run out of things to say when I'm talking to a girl. So that's like very, very common. And like the answer to that, for anyone who's wondering, is you simply lower the bar for what is acceptable conversation. You kind of approach it more like you do with your friends, where you just say whatever the fuck comes to your mind. You don't give a fuck. You're not afraid to take social risks with your friends. I mean, hopefully, and kind of adopt that mindset when it comes to talking to girls. Hunter, what are you working on now?
Bro, I've recently come to this realization that like 90% of guys are NPCs.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have noticed this.
I am also an NPC.
Expand on that.
Obviously, like in our news,
Please,
like, we got a lot of guys reaching out to us. Guys like commenting.
You cut out, Hunter.
Oh, I can't hear him anymore.
Yeah, your audio cut off. You're still cut off.
No. He's still muted.
Yeah,
because the machines figured out he was talking about it.
Yeah, you got to take the speaker, the transmitter out of your butthole and put it on your shirt, man. It's like, I mean, it was worth a try, but I just don't think it works that way. It's like.
If Hunter can't figure this out, we have a really good question from this.
I know you like the electrical stimulation to your testicles, but it's let's just do it the traditional way for the rest of the stream. Yeah, no, he's not even muted. He's just the audio's not coming. I think the problem. Actually, I'm 99% sure the problem is the headphones. If you just use computer audio, I think the audio the issue will be far. Will be.
He's not.
Scotty, you're not banned. No, join in. You have the. Oh, did I not give you the link? Okay, my bad, Scotty. I'm going to give you the link right now. That was my bad. I should have bet.
Cool. We got a couple questions that I think are pretty good for us to get to, Alex, if whenever you're ready.
Sure. Let me just give Scotty the link. All right. Adam22 is going to be here soon. Sure. What question do you want to start with?
Cool. So there was a
there he is.
Lady here who says, as a woman, I'd like to understand. Oh, there he is. What's up, Scotty?
Hunter,
what's up, Lloyd? What's good, boys? How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Good to see your face.
Doing good.
Yeah, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Adam. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Hunter, did you figure out your audio?
Do you guys hear me now?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I just kind of left and came back.
Let's just before we go into the question, Lloyd, let's just let Hunter answer the initial question, which is like, what he's working on.
Yeah, bro. I recently came to the realization that most guys are NPCs. And I realized this because like I see my former self in a lot of the guys who like comment on my videos, reach out to me for help and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of guys are looking for the answers, the shortcuts, like they want to get right to the finish line, as we all do. And like as coaches, it's a big responsibility for us to help guys get there as quickly as possible. But I also noticed like there's guys who, even if you put them on a date with a baddie, like they would be fucked. Like they wouldn't really know what to do on that date. They would show up and like they don't have the presentation to be able to handle their frame. And that's what I've realized is that like most guys, I think this came up too, like when I dropped my video on AI photos, a lot of guys are like, hey, as long as the photo like looks like it's you in the photo, it's totally okay. But for most guys who like work a crappy job they don't really like, they're underpaid, like they haven't leveled up in their career, they're still going to the super cuts for their haircut, getting like a $10 haircut, they haven't ever grown out their beard because they think it looks unhygienic or they have some like limiting belief against them growing a beard. They just wear like whatever their auntie got them for Christmas every time they leave the house. Like they've never looked into style, fashion, presentation, and just like overall aura and confidence. Like most guys lack this stuff to the point where like they could get an AI photo shoot, like show up to a date and they wouldn't be able to handle even a date with like an average girl because they just haven't put in like any level of self-improvement. So I think a lot of guys are like looking for the answers for dating. And like what I found is like I used to be that guy. Like I would just get a buzz cut every 8 weeks, like literally just shave off all my hair, let it grow into a straight haired afro, and then just repeat at like the same $10 barber. And like it wasn't until I started working at Victoria's Secret and getting like mad feedback from women like, yo, Hunter, you should like grow out your hair a little bit. Like, hey, Hunter, you should like build a little muscle. Like they started like telling me how to dress, how to present myself. And my looks went from like a 2 out of 10 to like a solid 7.5 out of 10. So I think this is something that a lot of guys are missing out on. And a lot of them are trying to get the answers to like dating questions. Whereas like this would actually give them a huge advantage over every other guy. Like we all see like guys comment, hey, why do I put so much effort into my dating profile photos, but I have a buddy who just posts like horrible selfies and he's getting like 99 likes on there. It's like the cold hard truth is like he has aura and you don't, bro. You're an NPC and he looks like a player. So I think that's a big thing that a lot of guys need help figuring out, and it's something I'm pretty focused on right now.
Let me respond to that because I disagree with your assessment about AI photos. So it's no secret that I've been kind of promoting them a lot recently. And that's just because simply I think that they are cheaper, more reliable, easier, and more effective than a traditional photo shoot. So that's why I truly believe in them. And second of all, because I've seen the results. So at this point in time, probably at least 30 to 40 guys in my mastermind group have gone the AI route, probably more. And I have not heard a single case of a guy who's like, like every date I just can't close. Now there's different. So there's been guys who have like good game, who did the photos, who are just trying to get more matches. There's guys who have average game and guys who don't have good game. All of them have been able to see some level of results. I'm not saying they're closing every girl, of course not, but it wouldn't work like that with regular photos anyway. But they have a lot more volume coming in. And so I think that's really where a lot of it begins is like you need the volume. Once you have the volume, you can screen more aggressively. So you can, for example, not bother with any girl who wants to meet halfway or bother with any girl that's being half an ass. pain in the ass. And yeah, it kind of gets your foot in the door. As long as the photo looks like you, as long as you're not catfishing the girl, right? She's not going to be checking like, oh, in one of your photos, you had a shot of you on a motorcycle. Can I see your motorcycle? Like, no one gives a shit. No one does that. It's not going to happen. So it's really just getting your foot in the door and allowing you to basically get that opportunity. And then even if you have shitty game, you know, if you're screening aggressively and you're setting things up to your house, you're still going to close some of them. You know, so I think that AI photos, if done correctly, are great. Now, it doesn't mean that you should neglect self-improvement. Far from it. I think it's a good idea at the same time to be, you know, getting in better shape, to be growing out your beard, as you said. So I don't see them as mutually exclusive. But what can happen a lot of times is like if a guy's been, you know, not getting results for a while, right? And maybe they did a professional photo shoot, but the results were not that great, right? They can get discouraged. So I think that actually getting them the AI photos, which gets them some level of results in the meantime, will actually further motivate them on their self-improvement journey.
Yeah, like the point of what I was saying isn't that like there's no merits to AI photos. It's more so the fact that like the same rule applies to a guy who wants to do a photo shoot, right? Like some guys will come to me with a buzz cut, clean shave, Target t-shirts and say like, hey, let's do a photo shoot. I want to get more matches. I'm like, bro, like if this is the product that we're advertising, like you're not going to get what you're looking for here. Like we got to get out of this NPC mode and actually like put some level into looks maxing, help you develop some level of aura. You know what I mean? I think the cool thing about AI photos is like, and I've seen guys do this, it's why I brought it up, is you can kind of copy and paste your face onto a guy who has aura. I think that's like the coolest thing about it. Like I had a guy in my DMs, DMing me for months, like, bro, I'm struggling to get matches. This guy's like 6'4", probably like 290 pounds. Had like kind of a neck beard, buzz cut, pretty bad style, just baggy t-shirts and sweatpants. And he hit me up one day. He's like, bro, I just got like hella matches. I was like, that's sick, man. Like, let's see your photos. And it's literally, it looked like he took Leonardo DiCaprio on Lake Como on a yacht and like pasted his face onto it. It's like him like in
wait, we're talking about dad bod DiCaprio, or are we talking about like DiCaprio when he filmed Titanic? Like which DiCaprio?
Yeah, like
about?
handsome DiCaprio, dude. Like handsome Italian dude, you know?
All right.
Like basically put himself in scenarios where he was like a top 1% guy, but this guy was like basically like at rock bottom from a self-improvement standpoint.
I don't even think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, honestly. I can see the downside of that, but I think the pros outweigh the cons, because I think what happens to a lot of guys is once they start getting like a lot of matches, they just naturally feel more confident. Because they're like, you know, if they're getting like 2 matches a week, right, they're going into a date and they're like, fuck, if I fuck this up, I'm not going to have a date for another 2 months, you know, like, and there's a lot of pressure on themselves. Versus if they're getting like 30, 40 matches a day, they kind of have a more of a I don't give a fuck attitude. It's like, listen, like, it fucking works. It doesn't. There's another good one that I can meet up. So I think
I agree that if you're getting more matches, you feel more confident. If the catfishing version of you is getting more matches, I don't really think the same confidence boost applies. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that show Catfishing on MTV back in the day, but you get like these crazy people behind their computer pretending to be someone else. And they basically did it to like avoid confronting their reality of like hating themselves and having extreme confidence issues. So they masqueraded as an attractive person to feel that validation, but they knew they could never actually meet their targets because they'd be exposed. I think the same thing is happening with guys like the one I just brought up and other guys who are using AI to like basically catfish. It's like they're loving the validation. They can sit in their mom's basement all night on Tinder, like, I'm getting so many likes, I feel so good about myself. But it can actually be so discouraging if you see like the version of yourself that you're presenting and then look in the mirror, see how different they are and not really know how to get from point A to point B. Like, yeah, the validation feels good. I could see for some guys, it would be like motivating, like, oh, if I do improve, this is what I could get. But if we're talking about like meeting women in real life authentically on a date, I really don't think it's like a viable solution for most guys.
Well, like good AI is not catfishing though. It's ultra realistic photos of yourself. like it's like, again, I just know at this point a lot of people who've done it, and I'm not saying what you're saying doesn't happen at all. But every case I've seen personally, guys who are like in my mastermind who are looking to improve, or guys who are just casual YouTube viewers, is not anything resembling the outcome you described. It's like guys who are like actually go on dates with these girls and they're closing some of them. I'm not hearing any stories about like, oh, after I got the AI photos, my conversion rate just dropped. It just from what I've seen personally, it's not happening. Doesn't mean that it never happens. I don't think it happens commonly, especially if you go with ultra realistic AI photos. Look, when you're creating the AI photo, you can tell it how far you want to exaggerate things, right? You can have it put like 50 pounds of muscle on you, but that would not be recommended by anyone, right? You would want it to you instead, like my advice would be to have it put like 5 or 10 pounds of muscle on you, right? A little bit, right? But nothing like ultra significant. Let me just maybe show you my AI photos, and maybe that will, I don't know if that'll change your perspective or not, but I'll just quickly show this. So this is the guy that I work with. I just find he does by far the best job. So here is me, right? And this is 100% AI. Crazy, right? But like, this is all AI. Not all of these are like same quality. Like, I think this one's really good. I think this one's solid. I think this one's really good, right? But this one's really good. If we look at, like, for example, an Asian guy, right? We got this guy, Yeah, these are just ultra realistic. Like, there's no, like, heavy exaggeration here. Yeah, I've just seen this do wonders. I think the problem with like traditional I think traditional photo shoots are good when they work, and part of that is outside the photographer's control. Some people are just really not photogenic; they're just really uncomfortable on camera. I personally witnessed that, and those guys are really, really tough for a photographer. Like, you sometimes have to do multiple photo shoots with them, and that can be cost prohibitive for some of the guys in question. So. Yeah, I'm not saying that like professional photography is like dead or something like that, or this is like objectively better than. I just think there's advantages to this over professional photography, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think like the photos you showed me, like they look cool, man. And I think this community that you have of guys using this app, obviously, like they're in a self-improvement community, right? So like it seems like they've put some level of work into themselves in your community, and then they're hopping on the AI app. So I don't really have an issue with that. What I think it is like,
is that totally artificially created though?
Everything I showed you was 100% artificially created.
It didn't pose like that previously, and it just refined it.
No, this is so the way that Unreal Photos works is you take like 40 like shitty photos or whatever, just different angles of your face, and then it creates you as a model, and then it puts it in various scenarios. So no, this is 100% like from scratch type of.
Okay, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, Hunter.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, you're good, bro. You're good. I think it's like anything in life. There will be a couple of bad apples that I feel like will kind of spoil it for everyone. Like right now, it is pretty niche. Obviously, it's pretty new. A lot of people seem like they're finding it through your channel and your community. And those types of people have already been watching self-improvement or dating content for a while. But at some point, this will break that tipping point where people outside of the niche start using it. And like I said, I've already seen guys using it to put themselves on a jacked body on a yacht in Italy, right? It only takes a small handful of guys who just do extreme catfishing with this, and women meet up with those guys in real life before women start grouping together and wondering like, what the fuck is going on dating apps right now? Like, I'm matching with guys who look like influencers and models, and then I meet up and they're absolute war pigs. Like, I'm meeting up with complete ogres here.
Hunter, but that's been a thing for a while now, even before AI photos. There's always been guys catfishing and girls catfishing. The way I kind of look at it, it's like if you match with a girl who's an 8 and you meet up with her in real life and she's a 7, what are you gonna do, right? You're probably gonna fuck her anyway, right? Like, if it's a point difference. If a girl thinks you're an 8 and you're like a 7, maybe even a 6.5, and your game is good, she'll fuck you anyway. But if she thinks you're an 8 and you're like a 3, then that's a different story. So it's like if you exaggerate your height by 1 inch or 2 inches, you're going to be fine. If you exaggerate it by 5 or 6 inches, you're not going to be fine. It's just about like what is acceptable level of exaggeration, I guess, is kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah, and there's already guys saying they're 6 inches taller. Like we've all heard women tell funny stories about that. But I think this is a tool that makes access to high-level catfishing so much higher. Like it's unprecedented levels of catfishing. Like you could be 290 pounds, obese, neck beard, Walmart t-shirt buzz cut, and look like Leonardo DiCaprio, Leo.
Not with the program that I just mentioned, not with Unreal Photos, not without doing some, it won't do that with, you can't do that because the premise of that program is ultra realistic photos. So maybe with other apps that I haven't tested, that is possible, but not with the one I mentioned.
Yeah.
Maybe you should change the name of your photo app to, instead of Unreal Photos, change it to More Real Photos.
They're not mine. I don't own this company at all. I'm friends with the guy who owns it, but I'm not in any way, like I don't have any equity. I just really believe in it. That's basically it.
Nice. Yeah, so I didn't mean to cut you off, Hunter, but yeah, I thought it was funny that it was called Unreal Photos, but we're talking about how real they are.
Yeah,
they are right?
Yeah, like I thought you just said I could add 50 pounds of muscle though, no?
You could if you want to do some but it wouldn't be okay. Let me try to explain this. So they have automatic like presets, right? So the way it would work is, for example, once you upload your 40 whatever photos, there's a lot of presets, right? And the presets have like a prompt. If you manually fuck with that prompt and you say like, I want an extra 40 pounds of muscle, it theoretically could probably do that if you fuck around with the prompt enough, but that's not automatic. You have to manually like change the prompt, which most people don't do. They just follow it as is.
Yeah, but you could do it, right?
You could do it. Yeah, I mean, you could use photos of you from 15 years ago, right?
Right. I just think right now, it's super niche. Guys in the self-improvement community, from what you're telling me, are using it responsibly, but it is a tool that could be used irresponsibly for guys who might just be super insecure and they want to have that dating experience and they just go crazy with it. And I think it doesn't take very many dates for women to go on before that kind of becomes a viral thing. Just with like TikTok, you see the T app, just the way that women have online communities now in an unprecedented way. It won't be long before these AI catfish guys like ruin online dating for everyone. And I just can't see dating apps allowing that to happen.
So don't know. So like, you know how like Tinder and a bunch of these apps, they have photo verification. I've seen this many times where guys using AI photos, they ask them for photo verification. He takes a real photo and he still gets approved. That's how realistic they are. With the current technology, Tinder just doesn't even know that these are AI photos.
Yeah, I used to think that like the dating apps would be able to screen for AI photo edits. But I guess it's a lot harder than I thought to identify if the photo's been fucked with AI or, you know, some other app like that. Because you're supposed to get banned off Hinge and they have policies against, you know, putting photos.
So Bumble actually technically allows AI photos as long as it looks like you. That's a fun fact.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Oh, in their terms and conditions, they allow it?
Yeah,
of course, Bumble does.
They actually allow it as long as it looks like you. Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, cool. Well, it sounds like it's hard for the other apps to identify. Otherwise, all your clients would have been kicked off by now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like if my clients were getting kicked off, I would not be recommending it. You know, I wouldn't want.
Yeah, I just feel like it. Obviously, it's a game of cat and mouse. Some dude making AI apps in Germany is like a pretty small mouse, and I feel like the match group is a pretty big cat. Like it's pretty obvious who would win a game of cat and mouse in that scenario. So yeah, that's how I view the AI photos now. Is it has a lot of potential to be really dangerous to online dating. It actually could be the end of online dating. Like this time next year, we might be like laughing about like, oh, remember we could just date girls on Hinge. Now we got to do cold approach. Like it could be that serious.
Online dating will never die. There's too much demand for it, especially with the Gen Z being horrible at like actually talking in real life. No, online dating will never die. It's always going to be a thing. It might change a little bit how it functions, but online dating will never die. Mark my words.
Is it the number one way people meet each other now? I think it is, right?
Not the number one way. The number one way is still through friends and work, but it's up there. It's like 30% of couples meet through online dating.
Yeah, that's absurd, dude. I really hope it ruins online dating. Personally, I hope it destroys it.
I thought it was.
Why would you want that?
Yeah, I thought online dating was almost half of all relationships.
I think it's. I don't know. I think it's like misleading guys. I really want people to start reverting back to like where they were. You know, I think it would help out with the quality of women too. Like in general, I think it's just bad. It's a net negative for women and everything. I think it's ridiculous. This idea of like it's just negative. It's a negative thing. Like guys are just incentivized to stay in their little house in their little corner and swipe and swipe. Like, oh my God, I got matches. I don't know. It's like not making men. It's not making them into men. Like I think what. Even like our fathers like had to like go approach their wife at a bar. Like I don't know. I feel like it's made of
most of our fathers.
Let me finish. It's pussified this generation. You know what I mean? It's really pussified this whole generation. Like you just said, oh no way, these Gen Z guys will never give it up. Exactly. That's the point why I'm not for it, because it's a huge, massive crux that's like making these guys like school shooters. I mean, that's an extreme example, but I think that's what it can lead to. It's no different than just somebody swiping on their phone. Like if you're in a club and you're still swiping, I think that's crazy, because you can't talk. You can't talk to women. You can't socialize. How else are people supposed to socialize? They're not getting it from the education system. So then now you're incentivized to jump from the education system to the phone. There's never a time to actually go out and grow as a man. I got guys coming to me now with like 120 plus body count after online, be like, yo, this actually wasn't what I was looking for, because I'm still like, a guy like that didn't exist 10, 12 years ago. He would have balls. He would have his social skills intact. We're creating a guy that's like still socially awkward and can have a high body count offline. It's actually like a very strange phenomenon, but it's kind of what's going on right now. It's very odd.
So there's not one shred of evidence to suggest there's any correlation between dating apps and school shootings. That's the first thing.
I said that was an extreme example, but I mean, like if they live on their phones and they don't socialize and go out, like you said, these guys don't go out. They don't do anything like that's. I think it's negative. It's negative on people.
So some of them go out, some of them don't. Depends on the guy. Second of all, our fathers were not typically meeting our mothers by going to a bar. They were meeting through work, school, or friends. That's how the vast majority of our parents met. It wasn't from cold approach. Cold approach was never ultra common.
I think bars were common, dude. I think that's how my parents met. I think bars were. There was a lot of couples that I knew, like from that era, that met through bars or going to concerts and just going out. Like, yeah, there's people were way more. People were way more socially active. There was more social gatherings, block parties, events.
That is true. Yes, yeah. I will agree with you on that. But I don't think it was dating apps that killed that. I think it was largely
part of it.
I don't even really think it's a substantial part of it. I think it was mainly social media that killed it.
Yeah, bro, if it's 30% is no joke, that means that it's taking up a huge chunk of guys' time. It's keeping guys in a hamster wheel, so it's feeding guys, but they're not really satisfied at the end of it because they haven't really grown as men. They're like, fuck, I'm still a pussy. I still can't. You still have to go out in life, and then you see a hot girl in a grocery store, and you can't do shit. That's what these guys are saying.
Like, I'm super satisfied. I do both cold approach and online dating. But
you actually said you went out and did it for a number of years, or you did cold approach for at least a year. Most people aren't doing that. They're not putting in the time. That's the difference.
Oh, that's their prerogative. But I mean, like, I met my girlfriend, who I've been with for 6 years, through Bumble. Right? If it wasn't for Bumble, chances are I would have never met her. We just run in different circles. We have different schedules. Probably would not.
Yeah, but there's no evidence you wouldn't have met another girl through cold approach if you had to. So there's no evidence that there's a chance you probably would have. You know, you were ready for a relationship. I could have met a different
girl, but I like my girl. I like the girl that I've been with for like fucking basically my whole life. So yeah, it allows connections that normally would not take place. That's what I think is cool about it. Look, there's pros and cons to dating apps, and I don't think it's mutually exclusive with cold approach. I think
the reason you can talk like that for some reason, because you've done cold approach, so you're like, all right, I have an idea of what this can actually, the benefits of it and stuff like that. But like, if you've never done cold approach, these guys are coming out on the other end of it, like they're like, fuck, this is not what I really wanted at the end of the day. I wanted to become like a guy who is cool and ballsy and can have like can attract like a group of people, like the social skills required in order to, to do what you have to do to attract cool girls, cool friends, everything. Like that stuff is not really happening when you're just swiping and setting up or orchestrated dates.
So I agree with you that if when it comes to self-development and developing your social skills, cold approach is a lot better than dating apps, obviously. But I rarely see cases. I have seen cases, but it's pretty rare that I see cases that where guys just doing dating apps and hasn't done any cold approach. The vast majority of my clients, they've to some extent done both.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had the opposite experience where most of them have not done, they've done minimal cold approach, or they've been strictly like online dudes, and they've been very like dissatisfied on the other end of it. Like after high body counts, which goes to show you that actually they're missing the whole fun, like the growth aspect, like you said, the self-development aspect of things is really just totally gone to the wayside. So it's the end result. Okay, I got 120 bodies. It was way more impressive if you were getting a cold approach as opposed to online, in my opinion. It's just like one notch above an escort to me. It's not fun. That's why it's like the chase is actually part of the fun, going out and actually doing it and having to persevere, confront, deal with rejection, confrontation, like read social cues, like all that is being missed. I'm actually living with a guy right now he's well over 120 body count. Most of them came online, and he's like, bro, I feel like a total pussy in real life. He never developed himself. He never developed those skills. It's mandatory that you develop those skills. And if you don't do it,
think it's mandatory. Like the end goal is for the guy to be happy and satisfied with his life. For some people, they're already like they don't need to develop their social skills to be satisfied with life. Like they're good enough as there is. Depends on what they do for work. Depends on what their lifestyle is. I mean, depends on a lot of factors. But if that guy's like an engineer or something like that, and he has like average-ish social skills, that might be sufficient for him and for his goals and for what he wants to do in life. It just at the end of the day, I think just the factor to look at is like.
Wait a minute, hold on, back up a second. You said you don't need it. Social skills aren't a requirement. I think they are. I think you have to learn somehow.
No. I'm saying developing your social skills further is not a requirement. Obviously,
yeah, but further, I think they're under the entire curriculum is fucking retarded. There's no time outside of like recess where we're really like getting a chance to fully express ourselves. You know what I mean? Everything is an isolated, like get in the textbook, get good grades for yourself. It's like, remember how everybody felt so free during recess? It's because you get a chance to go out there and actually express yourself, see how you interact with some of the other guys, let the leash off, so to speak. Everything else is so confined and isolated. And then you get out there. So yeah, when are you getting that growth, bro? When are people getting it? I don't think they're getting it.
I agree with that, but I think that's a whole separate argument. Like what I'm saying is that, like, okay, let's take someone who's like an engineer, right? Or a scientist. That's what they're passionate about. And they have, average social skills, right? They can go up and they can talk to a girl, but they're not like great at it, right? For them, they might just want a girlfriend, and they might already have met a girl through a dating app, and they might be very satisfied. Like for them, there's no practical purpose for them to improve their social skills. Obviously, for me and you, we're dating coaches, so the better our social skills are, the more networking we're going to have, the more, the better our infield is going to be. So for us, there's obviously a practical benefit to always improve our social skills. And, if you're working in sales, that's probably like that too, but not for everyone. It just depends on.
Yeah, but before I was a dating coach, this is what drove me to even start cold approaching and stuff like that. So it comes before I was a dating coach. You know what I mean? Like that still, that drive to want to connect with other human beings is still there. And I think you get better, genuine connection without just swiping. I think you generally get better connections in person, and you're missing a lot of the fun of connecting with people that you don't even end up fucking. It makes you, even more detached from the outcome, which a lot of people preach, but it's hard to establish that actual feeling of being detached when you're just doing it via online. You don't know what it really feels like to be detached from the outcome.
Well, not everyone gets that.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was going to say, like, at some point when you're chatting with a girl online, like there's a real life meetup. where you have all of that experience. Sure, there's no cold approach where you face like in a fight or flight, like I'm either going to get rejected or I'm going to get like a receptive connection here. But you still are having that experience where like you got to have charisma, you've got to build connection, you've got to increase her interest level, you've got to break that touch barrier, you got to give her a good time on the date where she feels comfortable with you, you build that rapport, you make her, you know, comfortable with you.
Yeah, but that initial part is massive. You can't just overlook and be like, "Oh, that's the only part that's missing." That's critical, bro. Like taking that first step and having the killer instinct to do it. What is like? I think mysteries, and that I still think it's true. I don't like mystery. It's like the top 5 attraction triggers, the will, you know, risk taking ability. Like if you don't, it express that a first initial step and opening a girl up in a very, you know, socially risky environment is critical, man.
Why is it critical for an engineer who met his girlfriend through Bumble? Like, why is it critical for that person?
What do you mean? Why is it critical? If he has a girlfriend off Bumble, I'm just saying it is what it is. But I don't think that person is as developed as somebody online. I personally don't think he is. Doesn't know how to deal with people as much. I really don't.
Sure, but there's different types of development, right? Like for some people, they just maxing out their social skills is not
necessarily maxing out your social skills. I'm talking about like baseline, like not even maxing out. This guy's a social engineer that I'm living with. He's like not, he's a very like regular guy. No one would even know the difference, but he doesn't have the ability. There's a skill set between like actually going up and approaching women and being able to flirt with them in person without having anything orchestrated. Having an orchestrated date, like having a girl a meet up, it's a lot easier in that type of context and situation. Not saying that there's I think minimal overlap than once you get out into real life, and I've seen it firsthand over and over again. I'm starting to get more and more of a wave of guys that come to the end of the road with online, and they're like, dude, I'm still a pussy in real life. Like I can't walk up to girls, and the online keeps you in a hamster wheel where it just feeds you. That's all it wants. It doesn't want you to find love. If you do, you're the exception. But it's like it just feeds you.
People chase the high of like seducing a girl, but you know, eventually for a lot of people that wears off and they get girlfriends.
No, meaning like they don't. If they got everybody off the app and everybody found love on the app, it would be a wrap. They wouldn't. They want you to just kind of keep getting fed. They just feed you just enough. You know what I mean? They'll give you a lay here, a lay there, a lay there, and you're like, yo, I'm getting laid. You know, I'm getting a laid. I wasn't getting laid before, so online dating is so amazing. But if you were racking up way more quality of your choice,
option to get a girlfriend. Like if you're getting laid plenty, then you can get a girlfriend with one of those girls.
But for example, I have a 46-year-old client. He's not matching with the girls that he could pull in real life. That opens up a whole new range of women that otherwise he wouldn't even have a chance to get. And I've seen it firsthand, time and time again. Half my girlfriends, there's no way I would have the girls I have if it wasn't for Gold Approach. I wouldn't match with them. I just wouldn't. Like 22-year-old, like super hot, like looking girls. Like it's just, it wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? With all the criteria and how many filters you have to go through in order to actually match with that person, I think the odds are way more stacked in your favor to have some sort of control over the situation to get the girl you actually want to get. And actually have a puncher's chance.
Yeah, well, one of the things that you've mentioned this a few times, Scotty, and you've kind of mentioned this too a little bit as well, Alex, is like you mentioned they still feel like a pussy. And so that's where I kind of like look at this when I'm looking at the issue that they have. It's not that whether they use dating apps or whether they use cold approach, what they need to learn is they need to learn confidence with people. I find that if an engineer makes good money and he's getting a lot of matches on dating apps, there's a chance he might get a girlfriend from it. A girlfriend he might be okay with, all right? But he's going to do better in life having better social skills. At some point in time, you have to be able to communicate with other people. Guys, with technology, we've been talking about AI for a little bit. The only thing that matters is human connection, personal branding. In the future, all technology stuff is going to be done by machines. So if you're a technology guy, guess what? Your time's limited. But if you make yourself into a valuable resource at a personal and human level, you think AI is going to replace that? Probably not.
Depends on what you do for what.
It gives you the edge. It gives you a tremendous edge because you're right. Who knows where it's headed?
It does depend on what you do for work hours, but I think it gives them more of an edge. The guys who are engineers who know the tech stuff, and on top of that, they have social skills. They do way better. And all my clients who have come through my program, they talk about this having it be better in their careers. I don't think they have to do it, but their lives would be a lot better if they did. That's my opinion.
And Alex, you're speaking from a perspective of actually, sleeping with, I think, 100 girls or over 100 women in cold approach. So that's quite different. It's like the guy saying like, oh, you don't need to, but it's fun when you do it. Yeah, you actually did it. You did it. So it's kind of hard to say like, oh, you don't need it. It's going to make.
I don't. Well, I'm not saying you don't need it. I think that. Okay, let me try to explain like this. I think that having better social skills is a good thing, right? The question is, there's a lot of good things in life. Going to the gym is a good thing. Learning how to be a public speaker is a good thing. Learning new skills is a good thing. Learning new languages is a good thing. There's a lot of good things in life. The question is like whether this is something that you substantially need that will drastically improve your dating life. And the answer to that is really depends on what you do, what your goals are, who you are, right? And your starting point. And for some people, you're right, it will drastically improve their life overall. For some people, especially if they're at a decent point now, it will not drastically improve their lives. It will improve their lives maybe mildly, right? And there may be something else that they, better could have invested their time. But in general, I don't see as like online dating inferior to cold approach. The only big advantage I see with cold approach is that it helps much more develop your social skills.
Which is a huge aspect. That's massive. That's absolutely massive. Because when are you really getting that? You're like, maybe the engineer gets it, but maybe he doesn't. So that's a big if. And a lot of
not
jobs
everyone
are.
Needs it, though. Like that's not for
Yeah,
everyone.
but a lot of people like I believe what Lloyd said is absolutely true. Like it doesn't matter even if we're talking about game. It's like human connection is absolutely essential. What is that? Maslow's laws of life, like connecting with human beings. It's hierarchy need. Like human connection is a basic fucking need, dude.
If we look at like the most successful people on the planet, like they typically have really bad social skills, like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates. Like these are all people who are like really socially awkward. So
I actually moderately disagree with that, but I think they started out with great technical knowledge, but they had to learn to manage people afterwards. I don't know how. Like, has Elon Musk written a line of code in 30 years? Probably not. Probably not since he made Zip 2.
He's written a line of Twitter posts complaining about.
And watching Elon, like we don't know the guy personally, so it's kind of hard for any of us to say that. But just watching, from my perspective, it looks like he's actually got a pretty authoritative presence. Like, he the way he moves, the way he walks around, like we're all guessing on these guys. We don't know if they're all fucking.
I mean, losers. Everyone agrees that Elon's like socially awkward. That's like.
I don't know. He seems like he's got a pretty.
He knows how to get a lot out of. So.
He looks like a pretty slick guy.
He knows how to get a lot out of people. From what I understand,
like if you
nobody likes him. People who work closely to him. Nobody likes him, but he gets a lot out of them.
Yeah, sure. I think he's like kind of like a brutal boss. That's why he also has a high turnover rate. But anyway, I don't want to go down like the Elon rabbit hole.
Yeah, I think cold approach will drastically change like somebody's life. I don't think it's a small gap. I think it is vastly superior to just wasting your time all day, all night doing fucking online dating and swiping. That's just I think
that's like a massive straw man because you're not doing it all day and all night. You can just
but it is addicting, bro. That's proven to be addicting. It's not a
cold approach is addictive too. What do you mean?
But it's actually you're getting something out of it.
All you fucking degenerates.
You're getting something out of it. Yeah, but what's better, isolation or connection? You pick one. Well, you tell me. Let your audience decide what's better. You're isolated. No, you don't. It's a gamble. It's like playing the roulette, the tables. It's a gamble. You never know. Do you know how many guys that sit there and waste fucking time, dude? Like they waste so much time and they're not even connecting with human beings. So it's isolation versus connection. No, it's isolation versus connection. Even if they don't go out, even if they don't. Cold approach is not just all about picking up women. It's about what comes with it. So you connect with a lot of people. I would have never met you. I would have never met half of these people. I have new friends. Like
the reason you met me is because it's not because you do cold approach. It's because you're a content creator.
No, the point is that we wouldn't have had a relationship or anything. That's the point.
Well, the reason that I forget who reached out to who, but that's because we're both content creators and want to do content together, right?
Right, but I think cold approach even prompted me to get into a situation like that. I wouldn't have wanted to be even a content creator if I didn't do cold approach.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right, anyway, I feel like we're kind of beating this horse to death. We kind of have, I guess, different takes on this. Let's well, I don't know if Lloyd and Hunter have anything to add to this, and then let's go through some Q&A.
I mean, I just want to say that you guys both have great points, and I think both can be true. You know, I think everybody should learn how to talk to somebody in real life, but also we live in the modern era, so it helps to have a digital footprint as well too.
Yeah, and Scotty, to be fair, you do online dating, so you're not,
I'm not like, I mean, I'm not anti online dating, but I think it should be a supplement, not your primary means of connecting with people and meeting people. Like,
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it should be a supplement. I haven't used it in like months. I don't even give a fuck about it because I'm going out, I'm living, I'm hooking up with girls in real life. So it's not mandatory. It's a supplement. If I'm ever in danger or if I'm in a tough situation or a bad logistical situation and I have to, like, that's when it comes in handy, I guess. But I would never, ever use it as a primary means to connect with people.
I wouldn't look at cold approach as mandatory either. But okay, let's
No, but you have to talk to strangers regardless. You have to, if you want new friends, you have to have the social skills to connect with these guys. I've met so many people through cold approach. A bunch of people.
It just depends. Like cold approach. Okay, whatever. Let's.
I think you guys both have really good points.
I feel like dating apps are the most efficient dating strategy out there right now. Like if you actually have an optimized profile and decent text game, you know how to escalate things to a date quickly rather than getting lost in the job interview questions and having a pen pal on there, you can get so many dates so quickly on dating apps. And I think for most guys in 2025 who are working 40 hours a week, the idea of going out and cold approaching after work, aside from like going to the gym, making dinner, like doing shit outside of work, they have very limited time to do that. And on weekends, like maybe they don't want to be going to nightclubs. Maybe they don't want to be walking around parks and university campuses and bookstores, just like risen up girls chasing tail. Like it's a lot.
I could get the guy in a very short order. I could get a guy in a very short order of time, maybe 6 months, where he's integrated in part of his life and he's shooting an extremely high percentage.
6 months is not that short for a lot of people.
No, I mean like little sessions here and there. So, every month, little sessions where you're shooting a very high percentage. I think I went out yesterday. It was just normal. You have to leave your house at some point, and it was like I shot 80% numbers. You do not need to run a lot of volume and do it.
But that's because you are an exception because you're very good at cold approach. Like, don't forget.
Well, I'm saying I could get guys like that to that point. If they could get to that point, then
maybe ultimately after a lot of coaching, but that's not going to be a weekend thing, right? I think the point.
And I think it's more fun. They'll enjoy it more. That's a big aspect.
To each their own. Like to each their own. For some people, it's more fun. For some people, it's less fun.
Yeah.
It just depends on. Yeah.
I think cold approach for me was huge in like making my confidence and like overcoming that fear of rejection. Like if you're not someone who works in sales and you don't experience that every day, like cold approach is a great way to pick up those skills, and it gives you thick skin. Like it makes you unafraid to take risk in social interactions, which I think women are so attracted to. But as an actual dating strategy, I just don't think it beats online dating as far as quantity and quality.
I think online dating kind of should touch on as well too.
I think
there's something else we should touch on as well too, and that's the lifestyle accompanies this. Like so you have cold approach, and then you have like online dating, and you could use either one. Yeah, sure. Online dating is probably going to get you the fastest result, but as a dating coach, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I don't really care as much about how many dates my clients are getting, because I know the guy that gets 5 dates a week when he first starts my program, he will burn out quickly and he will think dating sucks, and then he will stop going out and meeting women. I know this because if he builds up his social skills first, if he builds up his ecosystem, as I like to call it, first, and he turns it into something that he actually enjoys doing, more women are going to want to be a part of that. He will need to go on less dates to actually find girls who will stick around, who he thinks are hot, who he likes, that like him back. When you go on a bunch of dates you haven't built up any of that stuff yet. And so there's a crass saying that a lot of I think I've heard around the web a little bit, which is men are into a body and women are into a lifestyle. And if you don't have the lifestyle, then either one that you use, women are going to stick around. And that's tough to deal with either way you're going about it, whether it's through apps or cold approach.
Well, that's interesting because my experience as a coach has been different. I find that the guys who burn out are the guys who are getting like no results in the beginning, and sometimes they give up. Versus the guys who are getting results in the beginning, they usually have like more incentive to keep going, from what I've seen. But we could be just
So if you get a lot of dates at the beginning, that doesn't necessarily mean results. Now, maybe more of my guys are going for relationships than just going for lays. But, if you get a lot of dates at the beginning, it really makes it difficult for you to see where you need to improve. Because I work a bit slower. When a guy in my program goes on a date, like we have a checklist that we've done, that's usually going to be a good date. I would rather go on one date every other week, or maybe like one date a month that was really, really good, than go on 5 dates a week that were garbage, that I'm not going to see again. You know what I mean? And the 5 dates a week, it feels like you're failing so much harder, especially if you haven't had that before. So I find that the guys that work their way up slowly towards that, they do a lot better. But if from the get-go, they're doing 5 dates a week and none of these girls are calling them back and going on second dates with them, they will feel defeated much quicker than a guy who slowly works his way up to dates that actually end up being good.
Yeah, it depends if you're closing or not. But if you're closing some, significant portion of the 5 girls a week, I think that you're going to be pretty good. Like what I want is, what I want for clients is I want them to get laid a lot, and then from a place of abundance for them to pick a girlfriend if they want that. That's the way I've always done it, and that's what I would recommend to my clients. It's like,
I think like inwardly you'll always feel like a pussy though if you don't ever address like any part of your social skills whatsoever. If you just totally leave them unanswered and you fuck a lot of girls, like, and I meet these guys are really socially awkward. Like they never scratch that itch, because you still have to like go out when you go out, you see hot girls and it just eats you up alive. It's like, I can't do anything about it. You don't want to be one of those guys who's always like turning their head at girls and they just can't do anything. It sucks. I think it's a primal instinct to want to talk to a girl and have a little bit more control, because you may not have swiped with her, she may not have matched, you may not have answered a message. There's so much like left up to chance.
Well, that goes back to my initial point.
You could create that within a matter of seconds. The girl, your exact girl, within a matter of moments, you can create that.
That goes back to my initial point that cold approach and dating apps are both good, right? I don't think like one is better than the other. People ask me that question all the time, which one is better? And I think they have different pros and cons. All right, let's go through some questions. All right, people, you're here now. Let's go ahead and hit that like button, support Alex show. He works hard for you, the people. So let's show him. Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Hey, Eva Marie had a question. I think she's down. I don't know if she's still on, but she had a good question.
Yeah, I'm just going to go through them in order.
It should be next.
2 weeks ago, I did my first cold approach. It was a rejection, but thanks for giving me the courage to overcome my fear, Alex. Nice, man. I'm glad to hear. All right, here we have Eva Marie. As a woman, I'd like to understand what makes you think that guys in this dating coach sphere understand women's desires better than women do. Do you? Oh no, it's a different one. Yeah. So it's I guess it's a fair question. So
I got a good answer for this.
The thing is that the majority of women have a very hard time, honestly, authentically explaining what is going to work on them and what their desires are. A lot of women lack self-awareness. A lot of men lack self-awareness. So it's not just a woman thing. A lot of people lack self-awareness. And you really need a high level of self-awareness to be able to really explain, like, these are the kind of guys I go for. This is what really turns me on. Usually when you ask the average girl this, you get watered down answers, which is like, he just needs to be like respectful. He just needs to be confident. You get like really vague, watered down answers. You don't get like the real scoop, so as to speak. So versus, for example, someone like me, who've been doing this for a very long time and have like a pretty long track record of success, I can speak from experience what I've seen work and what I've seen doesn't work, when talking to a girl. So it's not to say that all male dating coaches have the truth. Some of them have no idea what the fuck they're doing, but successful ones, yeah. I think that there will be some girls like Kezia Noble, I think is really good and she knows what's up. But she has a very high level of self-awareness and she's not afraid to, just say it how it is. So that's my answer.
She's also spent a long time around guys, and before she became a coach herself, I think she was working with PUA training for a long time before she actually became her own thing. Look, when you're going through this process, you have a lot of challenges, you have a lot of insecurities. You want to find someone who understands your perspective, who understands your desires. Sure, you can understand the desires of women, but believe it or not, the most attractive guys that I know don't spend hours thinking about the desires of women. They empower themselves. And if you understand what somebody's going through and the challenges that they're facing, you can help them a lot better than the person that they're focusing on. I know it sounds crass. People have said it tons of times, but it's like, if you want to learn how to fish, ask a fisherman. Don't ask a fish, right? You want to understand the other person's perspective in order to give them good advice. And no women I know will ever know what it's like to walk up to another pretty girl and talk to her. As a guy, she will never understand what that feels like. She will never understand what it's like to feel like a creep, or what it's like to put your profile up and get 0 fucking matches, unless she changes. Maybe she will. And they have done videos on this where women have seen what it's like to be a guy and the average guy on dating apps. And they've gotten a little bit of perspective.
It's a very tiny percentage of
most women don't.
Because you noble, but there are a
very small percentage of women. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not that we understand women's desires better. It's we understand how to get men results. As a woman, most women have no idea the challenges that guys face on a daily basis, and therefore they don't know how to solve those challenges.
Yeah, if you ask the average girl a specific question about dating, you're going to get a really watered down result. I know this because I do street interviews where I ask questions and it's just oh yeah, he just needs to be honest. He just needs to be respectful. And look, those are things that are good, but they're far from they're
usually talking about guys they already want to sleep with and the qualities they wish they also had. But they don't talk about how to be the guy they want to sleep with.
Yeah. There's you really want to look at a woman's actions rather than her words. It's like that with business and other guys too. But you want to look at a person's actions. That will tell you the truth, right? There's a lot of girls. Here's an example. A lot of girls will say, "Oh, just so you know, I don't have sex until whatever date." But then you look at their actions, and a lot of the times they're fucking on the first date, right? So that can be confusing. But if you just focus on the actions, it's not confusing.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. We demolished that question.
Demolished it. Do you think I can date making $2K a month, or do you need to focus on making money first? I got low-income housing in C, so logistics won't be a problem. You can date, definitely making $2K a month. Your life
make
will
some more money, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, your life will be better if you make more money. But I was dating when I was making $0K a month. When I was just living off selling my car, which didn't sell for that much. So it can be done, but I would say do both. Focus on money and dating.
Yeah, I was pimping hoes when I was broke, but dude, $2K a month, man. Besides women, you should be making more money than that as a man. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, where are you gonna take her for a small cup of water at Subway? What are we doing here?
Straight to your house, man. That's the way to go.
Straight to your house. That's the only date, dude. And have her bring food too.
Alex, when you said you were broke, were your parents helping you out at all, or how were you living in Cali? Your parents weren't helping you?
Yeah, it's sort of. So basically, I moved to Cali and I sold my car that I had for $7,000-8,000. So I had that. So I was just really nipping away at that. And the place I was living at was $700 a month. I didn't have a car, so my expenses were ultra low. I think I borrowed from my parents once or twice, but they weren't giving me money every month.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it can be done, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I start taking career stuff more seriously. When you tell guys to display that they're dominant in their dating profile, how often guys live up to that expectation in real life? I'm not really sure how often they live up to it, but look, a girl's not going to do like some kind of dominant test when you meet up with her. I think it's going to be fine the vast majority of the time.
I have a story about this. So, my buddy, I used to live with a guy. I won't say his name, but he figured out how to create like a Tinder profile that was like super specifically catered towards like chicks that wanted to hook up like pretty quickly. His profile was like, "Hey, if you've been looking for, like the dominant guy," or he didn't say dominant, but he used a different word for it on dating apps. He's here, and it was just like the most dominant, like commanding profile that you could think of. And he got shitloads of matches, and he ended up getting matched with this girl who was like really hot pretty quickly. And he shows up to the date, but he was like kind of following her lead the whole time. He was trying to go back to her place and all of this stuff. And there was at a certain point, she was ready to hook up right when they met. And then halfway through the date, you could see she was starting to lose interest because he didn't match up to his profile. And it was ultra, ultra dominant. So it did very well to get women in, but he did not match up to this fantasy version of dominance that he had created. And he ended up taking it down because he got shitloads of matches, but the girls that he was getting with weren't the quality that he wanted.
Yeah, sounds like the mismatch was too great. He could do a less dominant bio. That would probably be fine, or he could learn how to be a little bit more dominant. But either one of those would solve the problem. Yeah. Okay, here's an interesting question. Some men are upset about Vanessa Bryant dating after Kobe Bryant's death, along with rumors about her getting pregnant. Would you be upset if your woman dating other men after your death? Well, if I'm dead, then I don't really care.
I'm dead. I don't care.
I guess in theory, no. I mean, like, I don't know, she's doing it like a month later, yeah, but like a few years later, she starts dating someone else. That's kind of to be expected. So.
Yeah, leave that poor woman alone, man. Let her live a happy life.
If I ever rise from the dead after dying, then no, I don't think I will haunt that.
Like, you slut.
Okay. Hello. Is the real reason nice guys finish last in line with women because women don't expect to meet us there? Do you guys understand this question?
No.
Where are they?
No, this is an English language is not my first question.
Yeah. BKGJ. Please repeat the question.
Let's move on to the next one.
Just turned 36. At what age do you think the drop off in best possible matches and apps happens? It was great for me. If it was great at 35, you're not going to see a drop off at 36. Okay, it's like 35, best year for pussy. 36, it's over, bro. You got rope or cope. So yeah,
I've heard 38 is like the best age for guys in terms of like the profiles that they see versus how many they get matched with. I have clients who are like early 40s who do amazingly well, and they say they've done better than they've ever done in their whole lives, and they've been using dating apps for like 8 or 9 years or something like that. So
what are they comparing it to, though?
They're comparing it to how they were in their early 30s, to how they are in their early 40s. So for them, there was still an increase. I don't think their profile is getting shown to as many hot young women as they would like. But the women that their profile is getting shown to, they're matching with more of them. So I don't know what the overall successes compared to early 30s are, but from their perspective, it feels like it's better.
I've seen the same thing, bro. Like guys in their 40s actually have way less competition, like less guys in their age group using the app. And the guys who are, they have like the worst photos, like group photos from like 7 years ago on an old Android. Like the competition is very low if you have an optimized profile. With that being said, I think like women in their 20s do set age filters. Anecdotally, I've heard that cutoff is around 34, but obviously like every woman has different preferences. Some of them might go up, some of them might keep it, closer to the 20s. That's just what I've heard.
Yeah, 34 is a big cutoff. The biggest cutoff that I've seen with women is at age 50. That's where a lot of women will make the cutoff. Like even women in their 30s will make the cutoff. a hard cutoff at 50 for dating apps.
I mean, you guys saw the video I did with for my dad. He's 55.
Did he crush it?
We said, yeah, crushed it, man. 300 likes in 24 hours. Yeah.
Was it you did the AI thing with him?
No, his real photos.
Oh wow.
My dad is in good shape for his age.
Is he 60 something or 50 something?
He's right now 60. We said he's 55 in his profile.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Interesting.
Okay. Let's see. Alex, AI photos make it easier. It's the same reason drunk driving is illegal. It's bad to enable. Very, very different. Drunk driving is illegal because you can, and you're likely to, run over someone who's innocent and kill them. So there's no one's going to die with AI photos, nor it's also kind of like a victimless crime. You're not going to like really cause damage to someone. So very, very different situations.
It's the ultimate catfish, bro. It's the ultimate catfish.
Death by catfish.
That's funny. I used to have a joke when I used to do like open mics sometimes, and I had a joke where it was like, you know how the guy's biggest fear if he shows up on a date is if the girl's fat, and a woman's biggest fear is when she shows up on the date she gets murdered. And I was like, look, man, I'm a nice guy, but if another fatty shows up, like I'm gonna have to stab her. That way we'll both be right.
Alex, you would agree that you need to be more dominant cold approaching women than just having girl come straight over from Tinder. I feel like that's what Scotty's saying. Yeah, probably. But I know people who do pretty well with cold approach who are not that dominant. So I don't think it's like a necessity, but I think it's helpful if you're dominant, yeah. But you don't have to be like a 50 Shades of Grey type of like fucking bigger to crush it.
You have to show courage. I think. Do you guys think courage and dominance are the same thing? Because I don't know if they are. I think for being able to cold approach, you have to face. Everybody gets nervous unless you're like that level of Asperger's where like you literally don't get nervous for walking up to people. Which I have met guys who are like that. But I think you have to have courage to do cold approach, and dominance. I don't know. I think it's a different thing. I think it's a.
They are. You're right. They're different things. Cold approach. Courage is like having balls, taking social risks, which is very, very attractive to women. Dominance is a bit different.
Do you think?
I think they could complement each other pretty well. I mean, it's a good thing to have as far as in your arsenal.
Yeah. Alex, I'm curious about this for you, though. Do you think dominance is always an attractive quality, or do you think it's sometimes an attractive quality, or maybe an unattractive quality? What do you think?
I think the overwhelming majority of the time, dominance is an attractive quality, but I'm talking about sexual dominance. I think that sometimes people confuse dominance with like being bossy, which is generally not attractive, but like me, for example, I'm like super chill in my day-to-day life or on a date, but in bed, I'm pretty sexually dominant. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what it is.
Makes sense. Cool. I have time to do one more question, then I got to head out, you guys.
Okie dokie. Hey, Alex, would you be willing to help a 40-year-old guy in a wheelchair get more matches on Tinder and other dating sites? Well, I'm willing to help anyone.
Yes. Help this guy out, Alex.
So, well, I need more info, but so the best thing you could probably do is get my course and join my mastermind group. But if you're tight on money, then you could just make a post with all like your photos in my free forums.playingfire.com, and I'll take a look either way.
I'd love to see the AI photo with like rockets on the back of the wheelchair, and he's like flying.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, what kind of AI photo is going to come out of this? Is he going to get a souped up like pimp my wheelchair kind of photo?
My wheelchair, yeah. Looks are far more important than social skills, especially for Gen Z. No, social skills will always be more important.
Cool. All right, I got to run, you guys. It was awesome seeing you all. See you, Scotty.
See you, Lloyd. Yo, later. Be good, man.
Peace out on me.
Peace.
Wow, I can't believe you left us like that. Not cool. All right, let's see. Let's do some more questions. Online dating has too many bullshit rules on what makes a good profile. I mean, cold approach has too many rules on what makes good game. Yes, there's some general rules that like me and Hunter and Scotty talk about that make you better. I wouldn't say it's too many, nor are they bullshit. There's certain things that women find attractive and certain things that women don't find attractive. It's as simple as that, really.
Bro, stop coping. Like, we give you the answers to the test and you complain about them. You know, like, if you want to pass the test, you've got the cheat sheet. Just go for it, bro.
Okay, absolutely. How many matches do men get on apps? How many swipes until you get a match? Okay, this really, really depends on the person, their profile, and where they live, and so many factors. I don't know. The average man probably is not doing that well on dating apps. He's probably getting like, I don't know, 1 or 2 a day, maybe. I don't fucking know. But you don't want to be like the average guy. You like if you go, I've done this experiment many times where you create a profile as a girl, and you see what basically what profiles they're exposed to, and they're almost entirely dog shit. Like vast majority of guys have horrible profiles, like 98, 99%. So you don't want to be like the average guy.
That's like asking, like, what does the average American eat in a day, and like what is their body mass? Like the bar is so low, bro.
I don't think it necessarily builds your confidence in real life, is what he says. I don't. And oh wait, he says how many to build your confidence in real life. I don't know if it ever. There's no guarantee that it ever will.
Yeah, I think dating apps are pretty unequal. You've got like the small few guys who take everything, and the rest of them get nothing.
Yeah.
Luckily, like it's not that hard to get to the top, but for the average guy, I could see like it is a very discouraging experience if you just go on there with the 5 to 6 least crappy photos in your camera roll.
Yeah, I will say this: from what I've seen, the guys who complain about dating apps the most are the guys who are not getting results because their photos suck. And then if I can get them better photos and they start getting results, a lot of their complaints just kind of go away.
They go from nothing to being fed, and then they're just kind of content with that sometimes, unless they reach a boiling point, I guess.
Sure. Okay. I'm super broke. What coach is best for a broke guy with low S? I think he's saying SMV. Or do you suggest Juan improve at what coach is best for blue collar? One of you guys answer this question, please.
I guess I'm the best coach for broke guys. I'll work with you, man. Just contact me and I'll figure something out with you.
Yeah,
definitely hit me up, Scotty.
A banana and a blowjob, and Scotty's
super broke. I don't like doing.
Oh wait, hold on a second. He said super broke. Yeah, never mind, bro. I'm sorry. Can't help.
I'm just saying, like, don't put labels on yourself like that, bro. Like, you got to see the good in yourself and like want to level up. Like when you label yourself in a negative way in life, you kind of become what label you ascribe to yourself. So I don't know. You got to like look within too and like see the inherent value you have and like have that desire to want to get better. Like you don't need to hire a coach to solve any of your problems. You'll solve them faster with a coach, but there's so much free content here on YouTube. Like check out all 3 of our channels. It's like an encyclopedia of knowledge that you can go from, get that motivation and get the tools you need to improve, bro. So yeah, I just don't want to put those limiting beliefs on yourself.
Yeah, that is actually very true. Here's a funny story. So I had a coaching call yesterday, and this guy was telling me about like this other coach he was working with, but it was getting too expensive. So I was like, okay, just out of curiosity, like how much was he charging you? I'm not going to mention any names, but $50,000 for 12 infield reviews.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. That's crazy.
Why would this person lie? No,
I know that's so. Dude,
it's
that's
so ridiculous.
Crazy. That's crazy. I think when I hear even like 10 to 15,000 is like absurd to me. But
yeah, I agree.
Crazy.
This guy hired Tony Robbins. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, seriously. Wait, did you say 50,000 or 25? I'm sorry, 25
No,
G's.
$50,000 for I believe it was 12 or 16 infield reviews. That's it.
Yeah, that guy's going whale hunting, bro. He's just looking to get that one sucker.
It's crazy. So yeah, some dating coaches are definitely a ripoff. I'll admit it. But yeah, I wouldn't charge anyone anything resembling that. Okay, let's see what else we have. Okay, here's a fun question. If I get my friend to set up a date for me and show up instead, could I get laid on below average on looks?
Yes, you can.
If he's using your photos, then yes, you can. I've done that before for people.
But he didn't mention photos, so it could be any situation. So yeah, definitely.
Well, if it's your friend's photos and you guys don't look really alike, then no, she's probably going to be like, "What the fuck?" But if he's setting up dates for you using your photos, then you most likely will be fine if your in-person game is decent.
But he didn't clarify. It sounds like he said my friend to set up a date for me. So that means like I could go out and be like, yo, my friend is like a cool dude. I think you'd really like him. I did that for one of my friends and he got laid. Like that's not that
Well,
hard.
that's why I provided that like kind of caveat.
Yeah.
But
The word instead throws me off here. Like I show up instead, like instead of
the instead.
that throws me off. Like
that
bro,
does
you might be able to get crafty there and make something happen, but that's going to be an uphill battle.
I think it's possible, dude. It's possible, but you got to be real slick.
One thing that I have this friend who's like an evil genius, but a really good dude too. He's Italian, and I've hung out with him in Europe. But so here's what he does. He would, I don't think he still does this, but he used to do this. He would basically use like a Giga Chad, whatever, photos, set up a date, right, with a girl, tell her to come at this bar at this time. Then he would, as himself, show up to the bar, and he would text her saying, "Hey, I can't make it," and flake on her. And then 30 seconds afterwards, he would cold approach her as himself.
Oh, that's good, dude. That's epic. That's real clever, dude. Dude, that's fucking genius.
And he said it worked most of the time because at that point the girl's like already out.
Dude, that's fucking evil genius. That is genius.
Evil genius, right?
She's like looking forward to the chat and her blood's going. That's really good stuff, man.
Yeah, and this guy was not bad looking. He was like above average looking, but he's very like smooth and charismatic. So
dude, that's crazy. We should experiment with that with one of your videos or something. Like I don't know how we could do that, but that would do well.
Yeah, potentially. But yeah, this guy like definitely came up with some ideas in regards to getting laid that I never would have even thought of.
Yeah.
Good dude. All right, let's see what else we have. Let's do like maybe 3 more questions. How long will it take until AI picks for dating apps get into mainstream, in your opinion? Really depends.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever get in the mainstream, like mainstream. But if they do, probably 6 to 12 months. But I don't know. They might never. It's hard to say. All right, guys, if you have any last questions, get them in now. Any last questions at all?
Alex, do you ever bring guys up and let them come up and you give them like an assessment or something, like a quick assessment?
Repeat that?
Did you ever let guys come up from the chat and you give them like a quick assessment or something?
Yeah, we've done that before. It's a little bit risky because what if they like flash their dick or whatever? But yeah, I've done that before.
I see you got the nice new apartment, man. That shit is awesome.
Yeah, you gotta check out my new place in person.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
It's awesome. Okay, would I recommend using FaceApp? Yes, I think FaceApp is good. Should I lie about being employed when I'm not, since I'm just taking a break and living off savings? I'm not a big fan of like direct lying. Why don't you just leave that part blank where you don't say anything? Okay. If I use realistic fake muscle suit under a dress shirt, can I give it to me the high as an? No, I just No, I wouldn't do that. It's gonna be embarrassing when like you actually start closing and you take it off and you're wearing like a muscle suit. Maybe for a photo potentially, but not for a date. I wouldn't do that.
I would give Dame some advice here too. Like, you just got to find fashion that works for your body type. Like, for the longest time, bro, like I was 5'11", 135, like
Oh my
just
God.
super skinny guy. Yeah. I just had the hardest time putting on weight, and I was competing in jiu-jitsu, so I was always cutting. And
What
like,
do you?
what I found,
I was gonna
I
say,
found
what are you now, bro? I'm sorry to cut you off.
now I'm 175.
Oh wow.
So I put on a lot of weight. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And one thing I found that helped me a lot was doing like layered outfits. So basically having like a white tee and then a button-up shirt that's unbuttoned all the way, or like a denim or zip-up jacket that's undone. If you have like skinny arms, maybe you're a skinny guy, you don't have like big shoulders or anything like that, having that layer is going to add like thickness to your fit, which will kind of like give you more of that puffy look in the shoulders, but it's also not going to accentuate super skinny arms the way like a short sleeve button up shirt would, or a t-shirt or something like that. So I would just look into like layered outfits, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Hunter, the question. Oh, go ahead.
Do you see a tailor? I mean, do you ever go to a tailor or no? I never seen a tailor, but I've heard a few people say it's good or whatever.
Yeah, I've done it for suits. Like in Bangkok, I went to a custom tailor, so they just like fitted me completely and gave me a couple suits, which was like an awesome experience.
Nice.
I definitely recommend that for anyone. Like, if you ever make it up to Bangkok or Vietnam, you can get like crazy suits that are custom tailored.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Okay, Hunter, I'm going to read the question that you posted in the private chat that you saw from the comments. This is from Drew. Could you create a dating profile to just get matched with a certain ethnic group, aka pulling Asian women? If you are Asian, you're more likely by default to be matched with Asian girls. But no, you can't create a profile that just limits you to a certain ethnic group, nor do I think you want to. So, no.
Yo, I actually have a tactic around this because, like, I love ABGs. So, as an experiment, I put my ABGs, Asian baby girls.
Asian baby girls, yo, that's hilarious.
I hate fob Asian girls, but yeah, go ahead.
I love the ABGs. So what I did is I basically put my hinge to New York City. This works particularly well if you're in a large city with a lot of diversity. If you're in a small town that might have like 10 Asian girls, like you're pretty cooked. But say you're in New York, LA, Toronto, Vancouver, like a populated city, it's a pretty effective dating strategy. Hinge actually allows you to filter by ethnicity. And you can make this a deal breaker, so only those types of women see your profile. So by default, like creating a dating profile that you only get matched with them, the profile won't do that for you, but the filter will. It will limit your options though, unless your profile is kind of tailored to like what they're generally interested in. But you also don't want to go too far where you look like a guy who's just like has yellow fever. So don't put like anime, bubble tea, matcha in every prompt or anything like that. What I did is I kept my profile relatively the same, but I included a photo of me pouring green tea in a Japanese kimono with like a headband. It's a photo I got while I was in Japan.
Jesus.
And bro, I'm getting like 10 likes a day on that photo from the ABGs. Like, it's going hard. So,
yo, Hunter, do you live in New York City?
No, I'm in Bali right now. I travel full time, but when I'm back in the States, I'm mostly based out of Vegas.
Badass.
Latinas are the best. The best. They have the biggest asses, the biggest tits.
That's false. That's false. That's false. That's false. That's false. That's false.
It just Latinas for the win.
Give me Trinidadian. Give me Bahamian. Give me Caribbean. African.
Damn, we got the diverse taste on this.
Yeah, we got a lot of diversity here. We got a lot of diversity.
Okay, let's do like a few more questions. Women seem to want to have sex with me, but never anything more. What could I do to be perceived as more than just a hookup? I would need to know more information, like what you're doing after sex. But generally speaking, cuddling after sex is good. If they sleep over that night, that's good. Maybe getting breakfast, that's good. Texting them, shortly after they leave, that's good.
If you do it in a well-calibrated way and you're just straight up honest with her, that's what you're looking for, and you made it clear, sometimes that does the trick. you know.
But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. I would need to understand your situation better to give you more feedback, but post in the forums and we can take a look at that. Should people be less concerned about getting laid and more about finding someone obsessed with you? Like, why? Why do you want someone obsessed with you? It just seems like it's going to be a pain in the ass. I don't see the benefit of
And
that.
one's a gateway to get to that anyway. They kind of go hand in hand, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, last question. Is it good to go somewhere with the specific intention of approaching as a beginner? In my experience, it helps keep me accountable. Is it good to go somewhere with the specific intention of approaching as a beginner? I don't understand the question. Do you guys understand this?
Yeah, no, I don't understand. I don't
I
understand
think
it.
he's saying like, should I, rather than like having a goal, let's say he wants to hit 10 approaches per day, rather than going about his day and hoping 10 approaches or 10 sets open up for him, he's saying like, should I go to, you know, a library, a bookstore, a shopping mall, and like not leave until I hit those 10 approaches? Like basically challenging himself to like go to a place where he has to just bang it out.
Yeah,
I got you.
All the time. Yeah, I think it's good. Hold yourself accountable.
I think either one could work, honestly. Yeah, I think you have to kind of start there where you have some sort of like goal or whatever, but eventually you can discard it. But yeah, I think it's a good starting point.
I think having a wingman is good, especially as long as it's one that holds you accountable. So a game that we used to play back when I used to struggle more with approach anxiety was I give my my buddy, my wingman, like $100, and he would give me 20 back for every girl I approached. And if I approach less than 5 girls, then you would keep the money. You can up that amount of money to whatever you want to do, but you get the general point.
Alex, didn't you say you used like good looking loser approach anxiety drills once in a while? You would check them out when you were learning?
No, not good looking loser. I used swooptheworld.com and the other guy, Will Freeman, he runs, I forget what his thing is, Revolutionary Lifestyle Design. I wasn't really that familiar with Good Looking Loser, but I'm sure there's a lot of overlap between them and what I did. Yeah. All right, cool. We covered a lot of questions. But yeah, good stuff, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, man, it was great. Thank you for having me.
Just let the people know where they can find you and support your work.
Want to go first, Hunter? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go for it. Just check me out, Wingman Plus on YouTube. Dropping new videos every week, and absolutely pumped to be on the stream. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, for sure. Scotty?
Yeah, you guys could check me out at Scotty GLL and my website, scottywingman.com. You guys book sessions with me there.
All right, awesome. All right, cool, guys. I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.
All right, later, guys.
See you guys.